So, what about my meditation? And I do this demonstration in classes sometimes, but not always. It's rather lengthy, but you can look for guided meditation and relaxation techniques on YouTube, for example. These things are all over the place, and they have profound effects for many people. So it's something that you might want to try. Maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't, right? No one's going to stand up here and tell you, do this because it works. What I'm saying is, try it. Try it and see if it works for you or not. And then keep it in your toolkit or jettison it. But at least attempt it. And let's talk about sleep. Get your sleep. One thing that my stupid ass Phobit here, right, my $35 thing that hooks up to my phone, you know the routine, and gets me like, $10 off my health insurance a month. One thing this has taught me is get enough sleep, and I didn't used to get enough sleep, but this tells me, I can look every night. Did I get 7 hours of sleep? And I've been working hard over the last 2 years to get enough sleep, and I think it's improving things. And there's some sleep tips on that link if you want to go to the web and look at that. Let's talk briefly about the sleep cycle. And this is over an 8-hour period. What we see in a sleep cycle typically is we go down into an area of deep sleep pretty much 15-20 minutes, half hour after going to bed. We hit that stage 4 delta sleep, and then we surface back up to REM sleep, right, and then back down to delta sleep, and then throughout the rest of the night we go back and forth. But notice the REM events occur, and then we should naturally wake up out of a REM event. REM is so important. This is when we dream, but it's also when we consolidate our memories and our learning for the day. So if we get inadequate sleep, then we're really cheating our mind out of its inherent ability to process information, store that information, and allow us to learn from that information. So sleep, I think, is all critical in this regard, and especially REM sleep. Now, what are the functions of sleep? Well, first of all, sleep allows us to conserve energy because when we're sleeping, we're in a relatively low energy burning mode. Right? It allows us to restore the body, especially neurotransmitters and neuron sensitivity. So during this period of time, any neurotransmitter systems that went out of balance, the balance can be restored and things can be brought back to the steady state. Right? Sleep allows us to flush useless information out of the brain, and I still marvel at the non-conscious, and the more I learn about it, the more it fascinates me. But this non-conscious process of sorting information, don't need it, don't need it, don't need it, reject it, don't encode it into memory. Right, so there's intermediate memory store, and stuff gets rejected because it will just be unnecessary. Right? But the stuff that is necessary becomes incorporated into our memory system. And then the last one, I know this is kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it is true. If we sleep, during the night, one thing that did for human beings 40, 50,000 years ago, right? One thing that did for human beings, it allowed us to avoid nocturnal predators. Nocturnal predators, man, they smell better than we do. I mean, their olfactory sense is stronger than ours, not our body odor, right? So let's get that right. And they have better vision. One of the things that human beings suck at is being out at night. Our vision is designed for day and color differentiation, not for nighttime use. Our sense of smell is pretty rudimentary compared to most of the animals that would want to eat us, right? So one thing that was great, and that's why I think humans for the most part sleep during the night, is it was probably natural selection. Those people who wanted to sleep during the day and be out at night didn't survive as well and didn't go on to reproduce. Who knows? Just a brief evolutionary conjecture. Right? Physical coping strategies, what do they include? Exercise, like I said. Stress kicks us into high gear. If we're in high gear, why not do the exercise thing and burn the stress hormones as they want to be burned, right? So let's do the exercise. For you runners and weightlifters, it's all good, right? Swimmers, excellent. Think about us. We're the only primates that frickin' swim. That's pretty incredible when you think about it. Interesting distinction in the primate world that humans swim, and we swim well, right? And notice this, that infants can swim straight out of the chute. Boom, neonate can swim. Makes us kind of interesting as far as primates go. Nutrition and diet. So let's make careful choices, and I know that's even harder under a confinement, but this is probably good food, this salad here, right? But what do you eat when you're stressed out? Come on, be honest. What do you eat when you're totally stressed out? How many of you said comfort food? So whatever comfort food is to you, macaroni and cheese, Oreo cookies, whatever it is, chocolate chip cookies. But see, it's probably not the best choice under those circumstances, but we're going to do what we're going to do. Let's not beat up on each other because of it. Using drugs as stress relievers, temporary escape, but not really a successful coping strategy. Look, it would be disingenuous to tell someone that after a hard week's work, going to a happy hour, getting a beer, you're going to feel this pleasant, calming sensation as the beer kind of just washes over you, and all the struggles of the week seem to become less important at that point in time. But it didn't change the struggles, it just put us out of touch with them for that temporary point of time. So let's be honest about it. No one's telling us not to do it, that's not the issue, but the effects are temporary. It doesn't equal a permanent coping strategy, and if someone develops a drug or alcohol problem, notice this becomes then a huge source of stress, right? So it was meant to initially ameliorate stress. If it becomes an addiction, right, if it becomes a habitual, it creates more stress. So safeguarding your hearing for both stress, health, and reduction. Mind your hearing, right? Wear ear protection in loud areas such as work sites. Use your fingers as earplugs in an emergency. Noise pollution people don't really talk about all that much. Turn it down. If you listen to loud music, turn it down a little bit. I'm one to talk. I don't follow this advice. Most of the music I listen to is better when it's louder, right? So, and I'll admit, when I worked at the lumber mill, I'm working in this around large machinery, loud machinery, and what did we do? Well, back in the day, we had, tape decks, right? I know. Cassette tapes, that's how freaking old I am. Big tape decks, like big machines, right, with big speakers, and we'd put it right up behind us and blast the music so we could hear it over the machinery. Great idea. Or, let me ask you this. If you're mowing the lawn, how many of you put in the earbuds and listen to music really loud while you mow the lawn? Okay, this is what we do, but maybe not a good choice. Avoid ear-splitting concerts. And seriously, well, I went to one concert, Black Sabbath and Pantera. I remember it was at Los Angeles. It was at the Forum, the Inglewood Forum in Los Angeles, and my ears hurt for 2 days after that concert. Horribly loud band, Pantera, like 130 decibel loud. So, soundproof, protect your home, right? And this is very important to my wife. She needs quiet to work, so she often likes that, right? Now, perception of stress and its effects. Here's a link. So if you want to follow this link, this is a great TED Talk. And it's about new research, right? And it says that all else being equal, the level of stress, what's most important, according to this one theorist, and you can check out this talk, but it's just a mind-blowing kind of observation, is what's most important is how you feel stress affects you. And if we have the hardy, the robust, the resilient people that say, look, stress, hey, throw it at me. I can deal with stress. I can handle this shit. Interestingly, those people suffer far fewer negative effects to stressors because they don't believe the stress affects them. And I mean, this is even at a hormonal level. So the study of psychoneuroimmunology, the study of biopsychology, when we look at these collaborative fields, we're finding some wonderful information. So maybe a lot of what I've said throughout the lecture previous to this one and this lecture itself, it could be easily refuted by this TED Talk. So you want to go check it out. But yeah, I believe it was a TED Talk. Yeah, it is. It's a TED Talk, right? So check it out, on your own time if you so desire. And I just think it's an interesting counterpoint. And to me, one of the greatest things about education, one of the greatest things about learning is being willing to say, all that shit I learned and all that stuff I believed or where empirical evidence has taken us to this point, it's possible that maybe in part there are contextual modifications that can be made, or boundary conditions that make it less so, right? So flexibility in our thinking, and that's another hallmark of critical thinking, right, is flexibility and willing to embrace new ideas and see where they come from and see what they might mean. So that's it. We got two or three more short ones coming up. I know you probably can't believe it, as long-winded as I am, but we got 2 or 3 more short ones coming at us, right? And some assignments embedded with those. So stay tuned, and I hope you guys have a great day. And I'm looking forward to sharing time with you at our next Zoom session, our next live Zoom session, because I don't get a lot of human contact. So to the extent you guys are there, want to share your ideas and ask questions, it's freaking awesome for me, and I hope it's awesome for you. So have a good day.